Okay, welcome back, everybody. And I was inspired to do this because it's time to pass the torch. And I came about this because I saw AOC, who I'm really starting to like more and more, speak with federal workers and telling them how she had gone to I think, the Department of Labor and got a pledge from those workers that they would not let Musk and his musketeers into give them anything unless they had the proper paperwork and everything. And apparently, on that one scene, they backed down. So she was pretty much telling federal workers to stand up to the bully because it really does work. And not too long ago, I was thinking, um, as far as presidential candidates, I was thinking, oh, please, no more early end of the scale boomers. Enough's enough. And I am on the early end of the boomers, but I really know that it's really time for some fresh blood. Now, Harris is on the later end of the baby boom generation, and so that's to me that's young enough. But it's I think Pelosi and Schumer and the rest of them they've done a good job, but now they need to just pass the torch along. And I don't know that I thought it was great that she was mentoring Hakeem Jeffries. Now I'm not so sure because I don't know if this restraint is such a good idea. I mean, you need to have some restraint, but he also needs to light a fire under some of these people. And I really do believe that we need that kind of passion. Now, as you see on the thumbnail, I have AOC as the Princess of Wands. I don't happen to have a deck with that, but essentially what that is that it's the knights on the court card, but they've divided them into male and female, but they're still the same age group as the knights. But I do like that idea of having that in the middle of the age group as having male and female, because I think it gives more depth to the reading. But I chose her as the Princess of Wands because she's inspiring. She's got leadership qualities, and I think that people like her and Jasmine Crockett are what we need. Now there are people like Elizabeth Warren that still has that spark and fire. So I'm not saying that we need to get rid of all of the older ones. What I'm saying is that we need to have the ones that they've been around so long, they kind of know the game, and the thing is that it is a game, and it's pretty much time for them to step down. I mean, how Nancy Pelosi is going to be I think, was she born in 1940? Oh, I was thinking 42, but I think she's 1940, which means she's going to be 85. So let her enjoy. She's earned enjoying her golden years, so to speak. So at any rate, I just wanted to take a look and see um, how this can happen, first of all, and what this can bring, and see what the cards have to say about that. Because we had Bill Clinton was the first boomer president, being born in 1946, and the same with George W. Bush, and then it's morphed into Trump, also born in 1946. So I think we need to move beyond the 1940s for the most part. not in all cases, but I would say maybe in that mindset. I mean, Bernie Sanders is certainly someone who appeals to, I think that it's got to be either the younger ones or someone that really rings with younger people, and Bernie Sanders still does. So it's either they've got to be young or young at heart. So let's see how this can I think maybe that's one of the things that this god-awful administration is bringing, is that the realization that we need younger blood in there. So let's see. Okay, so let's see, how can this happen? Maybe with people getting fed up. Well, let's see. Let's see where they stand right now. So we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and I think what that tells me is that to get some balance, because the MAGA people in government, they're very loud, and it's and obnoxious. But I think the thing is that we need people with that passion, that that can speak with some reason. But people with that energy needs to be matched. Now, they have a way of doing it inappropriately, but if we could get that energy with people acting appropriately, that's the way to go. Now, when I saw AOC give the speech, she was very energetic, but she was very calm too at the same time. She wasn't yelling and screaming, but she was coming on as very strong. So I think that the thing is that what this tells me in reverse, the Two of Pentacles in reverse, is that the energy isn't balancing out. I mean, the only, that you've got the Marjorie Taylor Greene faction, and you've got AOC and Crockett, and some of them that kind of balance, but we need more of we need more numbers of them. There's only so much that they can do. And I'm talking about the rest of the squad and some of the, younger people. So it's crossed with the energy of the Four of Cups. And I'm going, this is turning into why this needs to change. So then, we have this person kind of contemplating on an emotional level about what's going on, but he's so kind of caught up, I'm going to say, with the options that he's run out of, and not focusing on, what the real deal is. So it's going to be like they've got to open their eyes and see what's happening. So underneath all of this, definitely looking out to the future. And as I say again, March is going to be a big month. So then we have the Emperor, which is saying that you can have older and wiser people running the show. And I would say that, maybe this is the Bernie Sanders, that he does have that energy, but he's the older and wiser. That's what's needed. I'm going to say that the Democratic Party is kind of at a crossroads, and they don't know quite what to do, but they really need to take off the blindfold and stop being so logical, and just maybe get a little bit more of that emotional passion. So this is why this really needs to change. So, and opposing that, again, opposing it is the Emperor, and I'm going to take the Emperor in. That's the old boys ruling class kind of thing, that's sort of standing in the way of this. So let's see. In the past, we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. We've gone from the Princess to the Queen of Wands, which I think that this could be a Nancy Pelosi type of card where she has been really great in the past and maybe even inspired people like Jasmine Crockett and AOC and some of the others. And I think that they've probably gotten some wisdom from her. But here again, what was really good in the past was good in the past, but now it's time for her to pass. And I swear I didn't stack the deck with this, but it's time for her to pass as the Queen of Wands. She needs to pass it to the Princess of Wands because she's ready. Okay, so on the conscious level, we have the Queen of Swords. It's funny how all of this female stuff is coming up. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, which is very intelligent people. These younger, passionate ones are incredibly intelligent. I think, AOC grew up in the Bronx and not from the richest family, so to speak, but by her hard work and, and being a very bright person, she ended up at an Ivy League school. And I think she did stuff like bartend and all that sort of thing to help to pay for it. So, consciously everybody knows these people are very smart. And Jasmine Crockett she was a defense attorney for 20 years. I didn't think she was old enough to be anything in any job for 20 years, but she certainly has. And I think she's still young. I thought, what was she? Did she graduate from law school when she was 12? She just does not seem to be that old. She certainly, I would say maybe that puts her in her 40s. She doesn't look like that. Okay, so Two of Wands in reverse. And the subconscious thing is that kind of missing that stream of light. And, all the ships are out in the harbor, but they don't seem to be going anywhere. And I would say that the subconscious thing is the the kind of like the impatience and when is my turn going to come. So that's a very underlying thing. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating with this in reverse. Okay, in the present, we have the Hanged Man. So what this is saying is that right now, these younger ones or the newcomers they're kind of waiting in the wings and trying to gain perspective on the whole thing. They'll be very passionate on the floor and in rallies, but I would say they are in a position now where they're kind of just hanging there, and but it does give them some time to reflect. So this is the Hanged Man upright. Okay, so that's where they are. They're kind of in a holding position, but I would say, like the figure in this card, they are making the best of it and they are doing their homework, that sort of thing. So, and the hopes and the fears. Well, the hope is a lot of female energy, very passionate. I think the fear is that people are afraid that with their youth and this and that, it might get out of hand. But they do represent hope. They do, and this is a very female kind of a card. So, and it is in, no, this is upright. Okay, so it is upright. And coming up in the future is that they will be taking their place in the hierarchy of the of the established Congress and the the branch of government I would say I think AOC was passed up for something that a leadership thing that she shouldn't have been. But as time goes on, I really believe that I think things had just had to get so bad for the Democrats that like they're at the point we're saying like we're willing to take a chance. We need to inject some energy into this. So there may be more. The establishment may be more open for this. Coming a little further down the road, the star. The star in reverse. Okay, so the star in reverse is about the things maybe being a little bit off kilter, but it's also a warning to don't get caught up in this whole thing of being a star, because these are public figures and it's about keeping the ego in check. It's just the warning to keep the ego in check because young people can be young people. Okay. Lesson learned from this is, here we have the Four of Cups again in reverse. So that's really telling the newer generation coming up to very much pay attention, not only to the what's going on the left brain, lawmaking stuff, but to be a very good judge of the feel of the room. I think that's what a lot of people have neglected to do, that the younger ones coming up are doing. So, I haven't done this in a while. I'd say, okay, the bottom of the deck, what is the bottom of the deck for this? I would say this is kind of like the charitable giving, and the one reason that this kind of needs to happen is that there might be more compassion in taking care of the less fortunate, or giving people an opportunity that they normally wouldn't have with the status quo, and more of a feeling of serving the people, basically. Serving the people in a way that, instead of just throwing money at them, is programs to help them help themselves. So this is why this really needs to happen. And I want to see, what is the bottom of this deck? What's the bottom of this deck? And we have, interesting, we have the Page of Pentacles. Now, that's why I'm saying in reverse. Now, that's why I'm saying that maybe there still needs to be the older and wiser ones, because I believe that when some of these younger leaders are put more into a prominent leadership position, that there might be a little bit of going through an identity crisis with all of this, and that they may have money dangled in front of them, and they've learned how to resist that where they are now, but they may be approached a little bit more, so this is their opportunity to change the culture of corruption, which has gotten really out of hand with the Supreme Court and everything. So which kind of takes us into what unless the cards go off on another tangent. Yeah, well, what this can bring to us by passing the torch. And it's like new ideas, and people, we can't have, we can have universal health care. Our neighbor to the north, Canada, has universal, and this is like really old school, when Trump is saying, they'd be so happy to be their 51st state. I thought, and give up that health care? I don't think so. They wouldn't be paying so much in taxes. Well, they don't really pay that much more than we do, or maybe they pay less, and they have a little bit different ways of taxing and that sort of thing. I've never heard, I'll tell you the truth, I've known a lot of Canadians, and you hear more about how they love their health care system, as opposed to, I can't even think of anyone that I've known that have said they hate the taxes. I mean, they're at least they're getting something from them instead of just supporting rich people. So, yeah, I think it's, I think that that's old people's way of thinking. They say, "Oh, it's socialized." So what? There's still I mean, Norway. I mean, that has it really has universal health care. I mean, they're doing just fine. They're a capitalistic society, but they just have, the socialism is the government helping hand. And in fact, I think of the people I met at Arthur Findlay Psychic College of Psychic Studies. None of those Norwegians I met were unhappy in the least bit. They love their health care. They may pay a little more in taxes, but well, those 4-week holidays and the pension plans they have, it's just like they're putting it in the bank to get it back. That's all it is. So, and to me, I mean, they've been doing it for ages, but we need young people thinking about that. I mean, if we didn't have that sort of thing, we wouldn't have Social Security and all that other sort of thing. So, let's see. If it could, let's see what this could bring or what could happen if we do get this. Okay, so probably do this a little bit shorter than usual. Okay, so what we have here is the Four of Pentacles in reverse, which is talking about, I think see this, the way it's been set up now is that it's to it's to let the wealthy really hang on to their money. What this is telling me is that the wealthy needs to shake some loose. I mean, it's the whole principle of giving back and not getting out of paying your taxes. So the energy is, wow, this looks good. Energy is the Wheel of Fortune, because that means that it brings better karma, and it means that it gives people a chance to prosper by giving them education. What a concept. And things like that to make the playing field a little bit more even. I would also say that the one thing 3 letters I don't ever want to hear again in my life once this monstrous thing is over is DEI. To me, that's just covered up racism. So this is kind of like, and I'm going to say, as it's sort of like natural law that you hear people talk about, it's kind of like, if other people are prospering, you're going to prosper more. They're not taking anything away from you. And as a matter of fact, that is the problem with this oligarch think stuff, is that these greedy pigs think that if the poorer peasants start to prosper and make a comfortable living and able to send their kids to college and live in a better house than they're living in now, that's taking something away from them, which may be the root of all the evils we're going through now. But I'm going to say that it's a younger way to think. Let's see. Okay, so this is the star upright. So this is the wishing upon a star, and and manifesting, and having a good sense of, you've got one leg on the ground, which is the material world, and the one in the water, which is the spiritual world, and having them work together. It's like having capitalism and socialism, democratic socialism, kind of working together. It's not like you're giving it all back to the state. You're just depositing it, and the state returns it to you. And it's not communism. I think the Americans need to learn the difference between all of this stuff before they open their big mouths. So then we have the King of Swords in reverse. I don't even think I'm going to put an opposing card because this is the opposition right now. It's those in power lying. It's a combination of Fotis and the Muskrat and these people in power. They just keep lying and lying and lying. And I think that part of this thing is that these younger people are just pointing it out right away. And these people think that's why it's such a threat to the old guard. Then we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, which has always been my card for Trump. And that's about the corruption. And I'm going to say that, I'm going to say Elizabeth Warren cannot do it alone. Do you know what I mean? She needs to have more people on her team too, because she's really big on exposing corruption in government, but also this guy has tied it in the public and the private sector with still making money off of his hotels, which is like a few presidents back would have been like unthinkable. So we've got this really corrupt guy, and I believe it's the younger people in both parties that can bring about the end of this, at least for now. It's not only AOC, but I'm thinking of Cassidy Hutchinson, who testified at the J6 hearings. And I will have to say that she's about as conservative as they come. But yet she does put country first. And I think this is the uniting thing. It's like that she gets along with the young people, even if they disagree in principle. It's still very, and she was courageous, which goes to the last video that I met, that the courage is contagious, and it was seen in the J6 hearings, and and they were Republicans, they all came forward. I should have mentioned that, but now I'm mentioning it. Okay, so in the past with this, we have the Fool in reverse, and I'm going to say that sometimes before they get seasoned, and unfortunately a lot of the older ones, they get enthusiastic. They may do some foolish things and may say some things that may be true, but maybe not quite appropriate for the occasion. But I'm going to say that this is in the past. I think a lot of them were like that. I mean, I know Ilhan Omar said some things about Israel that she probably regrets, said that she just didn't think it through. And I think that everybody is guilty of this. So this is in the past. This is the past lessons that have been learned. So I'm going to go to the present now. And in the present, it's the Knight of Wands. And I'm going to say, this is a pretty resilient bunch. When they get knocked down, they really get up to, they patch up their wounds and they get up to fight another day. And I really think that this is what we need, and what this could bring right now is like I said, the universal health care. And what the hell is wrong with a Green New Deal? I mean, when people oh no, we're not going to do that. Oh yeah, God forbid we should save some energy with the planet. Okay, then we have also what's going on here. Oh, I love this. Haven't seen this in a while. This is 6 of Wands, victory. They are in a position to be victorious, and if they get put in leadership positions and get and get a majority, they could be passing some really wonderful laws that people are afraid of, things that are really going to make a better future. I'm also going to say that abortion and reproductive rights could be saved by these people, because they're going to go full steam ahead. And if the others in their party don't keep up with them, they're going to be left in the dust. And then they'll go home to their constituents and say, why can't you be like these others and pass some progressive stuff? So this victory means that the older ones in the party are going to have to get with the program. I think what this is showing, the rods, we've got all these rods here. This is showing the momentum of how they could get things done. So let's see, in the hopes and the fears. Okay. Well, I guess hoping to gain more, but in the fears of becoming, I think that becoming like the elders that really screwed things up and became too corporate, like Pelosi and Schumer. And so that they're going to learn a lesson and be hopeful that they're not going to be like this guy when having the followers drop off. And so this is, this is the fear too. So it's a fear it's a hope that, one must be very focused and diligent about this sort of thing. So coming up soon is, it's really getting people out of this whole it's going to be opposite of the Republicans that are the party of self-victimization. We poor white people are turning brown in the future generations and all that nonsense. So I think this is going to be very much of the anti, pity party stuff, which is totally absurd. And I think that's a very good, I think it's a very good quality that they could be bringing to the table, and actually showing that that's really passé way to be. So I'm going to say that would be one of the first things. And even in defeat, like, no, we're going to get up and fight another day. No pity. We don't have time for the pity party. A little bit more in the future, we have the King of Cups. And I'm going to say that probably a good example for them to look up to is Joe Biden, who he got a lot of stuff done, but it was kind of like in that, but yet he was sort of like this really nice Uncle Joe kind of thing. But but those waters underneath the throne, they run deep. So I'm going to say that's a very good quality that they could pick up from their elders. And let's see, the lesson to be learned here is, with the Page of Cups in reverse, is that, maybe it's okay to have an identity crisis as long as you can keep it contained and don't let it control you, because we're going through an identity crisis in this country right now. Maybe to embrace it a little bit and say that it's also just another way of people resisting the past. So I would say that it's not such a bad thing, because with that it comes a little bit of experimentation and change, and you can have an identity crisis at any age. So I'm going to do the bottom of the deck thing. Okay. Alrighty, on the bottom here, the Ten of Wands says, we carry so many unnecessary burdens. A lot of them are psychological, stupid. I think this country was founded on, we must be miserable to go on. It comes from the Puritans and the Pilgrims, and I think that nonsense stayed. So that's one thing that they will look at to change, that, all the guild and the religiosity and the this and that, it's become so boring. Really needs to go. And on this deck, Hot Devil in reverse makes his appearance. I'm going to say in this instance it means really shaking loose of the old devil stuff, the old Trump stuff, and now the Elon Musk, the Muskrat stuff. And I mean, I think the fact that he, in a recent video with a chainsaw and his slurring his speech, and I know what that's about for entertainment purposes only. You can't get anything past this one who knows what all of that is like. And so I think that they're going to see that the devil has no, they probably don't understand why the devil was so attractive to the older folks. I don't either, to be quite honest. So I would say that they're going to lose this one. It's like completely getting rid of the old guard and the old school. Now there's a lot of young dippos out there too. I mean, look at the vice president, and and the Matt Gaetz and all this stuff. But I'm really talking about the very positive forces of of the younger generation, and a conservative like the Cassidy Hutchinsons, and like with Liz Cheney and that sort of thing. You may not like their policies, but they will come to the table and talk, and they do put their country first. So I would say that I do get a sense that a big lesson of this, whatever this is we're going through, is that it's really time to pass things along. I don't think that people would be talking about Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in quite the way that they, sometimes it goes a little too far, in quite the way they are if it weren't for what we're going through now, that they should have done more, this or that. So if there's anything positive that comes out of this, and I should hope that they're doing some soul searching and saying it's really time to to call it a day. I mean, Chuck Schumer, he got elected, he took office 30 years ago. I remember that election very well. I was rooting for him to win when I was living in Seattle. So, but I think it gets to the point where it really is, and to seeing all of these wands and swords in this spread is saying, yeah, it's really time to pass it on. There will be mistakes made, but I'd rather see mistakes made that aren't that fatal than to go slog through the same old stuff. So I guess when we get through this nightmare, I think that I really am looking forward to this change that will come. So at any rate, I will wish everybody goodbye. I was going to say good night, but this will be put out in the morning. So I wish everybody a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.